update on the President and the First Lady since she tested positive for COVID-19 last night. I can tell you that the First Lady is experiencing mild symptoms and will remain in Delaware for the week. President Biden tested negative last night for COVID-19 and tested negative again today. He's not experiencing any symptoms. As far as the steps he is taking, since the president was with the First Lady yesterday, he will be masking while indoors and around people in alignment with CDC guidance. And as has been the practice in the past, the president will remove his mask when sufficiently distanced from others indoors and while outside as well. The CDC guidelines recommend a combination of masking, testing, and monitoring for symptoms. The president is doing all of that in close consultation with his physician. There are currently no updates to the White House COVID-19 protocols. We continue to work closely with public health and medical professionals to monitor the virus. We're in our strongest position yet to fight COVID-19, and the virus is responsible for majority of fall and winter hospitalizations.
The COVID protocols for the president, is he going to test every day before he gets on the plane? Does he have to mask when he's in India? I think there are not, I think the protocols for the G20 are that there really aren't any. So I wondered sort of what's going to happen going forward with the president while we're watching.
So what I can tell you is that the president certainly is going to test on a regular cadence determined by his physician. Of course, all travelers, including the president, will test before traveling to India. So that is certainly something that the president will do. As I mentioned, the CDC is following CDC guidelines. The CDC does not recommend testing every day after a close contact. That is their recommendation. Again, we are going to follow the CDC guidelines. They recommend a combination of things, as I mentioned at the top, which is masking, testing, and monitoring for symptoms. He has no symptoms. So we're going to continue to follow those guidelines, he's going to have those close consultation with his physician, and that's all I can share at this time.
Can you be more specific on what a regular cadence is?
Regular cadence is up to really in consultation with his physician. I can tell you right now, as I said, all travelers are certainly going to test, right, before they head out to India, and that's including the president. So that is something that's happening in I don't know, we're leaving on Thursday, so there you go.
Just a couple more logistical COVID questions. Are these PCR tests that the president's getting?
That is something that the physician decides on. I just don't have that information.
And just reiterate again to us, what is the current COVID protocol for anyone meeting with the president? Like senior staff, those who meet with him every day, brief him, are you all still tested?
So anytime we're around any of the principals, we do test. That has been the way we have moved forward for the past almost 2 years here. So that has not changed. No White House protocol is going to be changing, as I said at the top. But when we do have close engagement with the president, the senior staff, and as you all know, or anyone, we do test.
And just a broader COVID question. We recently did an interview with Dr. Deborah Birx, and she said that American leaders are living in a fantasy world amid this latest COVID surge. She said that next month's vaccine booster is coming way too late. What's your response to that assessment, which she shares with some other experts as well? I mean, are you confident that you are as prepared as you can be and that this booster is going to work?
Well, look, we know that we have made historic progress in this nation in this ability to manage COVID, right? In a way that's no longer meaningful in disrupting our daily lives, right? And that is because of the work that this president has done, of the work that this administration has done. And we actually believe we are in a better place than we have ever been to deal with COVID. And that's because we have tools in our tool belt, right? We have we're going to have those mid-September vaccines, which is going to be incredibly important. We have these home at home tests, which is absolutely important. We have these treatments that we know are effective, so that we can reduce severe illness, we can reduce hospitalization, and we can reduce death. So look, we listen to the experts, the scientists. That's what we do here, and we're going to be continuously working with them, certainly in coordination. CDC and FDA announced these midterm. Why I keep saying that? These mid-September, yowzer! These mid-September. It passed. It passed. So I'm safe. Anyway, so these mid-September vaccines, which are going to be incredibly, we believe, important. If it's also done, let's not forget, the flu vaccine and also the RSV vaccine. All of those things are important, and this is something that the president had made sure that is available. We feel, again, we are in a very good position to deal with COVID-19 in the fall, and we're going to continue to listen to the experts as we move forward.
Obviously, you have some experience on attending summits virtually if need be, but when you look ahead to what the next week looks like and could look like, are you actually thinking logistically through this? Should the president, were he to test positive,
so
halfway
look,
there? Or
I'm just not going to get ahead of that. What I can say right now is that we do not have any changes to any updates or changes to his travel. The president tested negative yesterday. He tested negative this morning, and he has no symptoms. He's feeling good. You're all going to see him in about an hour and see for yourselves. Of course, he's going to be very cautious, and he's going to wear a mask as the CDC guidelines suggest or request. And so, that's how we're going to move forward. We just don't have any updates and changes. I'm just going to repeat what my colleague Jake said, is that, of course, we know how to move forward in these situations. But again, we feel we don't have any updates in any schedule, and the president's feeling fine, and we're going to move forward.
On COVID, just to follow on that, the president did have a bit of a cough yesterday during his speech. I'm just wondering if he had any other symptoms or if there's any concern around that.
No symptoms at all that's related, that would be related to this current conversation that we're having.
Okay, and then you mentioned the mid-September vaccines, and I'm just wondering, because there is this spike of kind of incidents that are happening. Is there any concern that is coming just a little bit too late in terms of the immunization that is in the population now?
No, totally understand the question. That is, the experts feel that, again, we listen to the experts, CDC, FDA, they got to go through their process in getting these vaccines done and ready to go. That's going to be mid-September. We're, September, 5th? What is it, right? So we're not far from mid-September. And we're going to do our job as we do every time when it comes to new vaccine or any of the tools that are out there. We're going to make sure that we encourage Americans to get those vaccines. We know that these vaccines work, right? We know when people stay up to date with their vaccine, that works. And so that's where I'll certainly leave that. But look, we've experienced increases in COVID-19 during the last 3 summers, so it's not surprising that we're seeing an uptick in this long period, right? It's been a long period of declining rates, so this is not surprising. But again, we're going to make sure that when these mid-September vaccines are available, that we're certainly going to let folks know and give them the information that they need, and also remind them to take your flu vaccine and also RSV shots. All 3 are going to be key and critical as we get into the fall. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, if President Biden does test positive for COVID in the coming days, we can assume he's not going to travel to India.
I'm just not going to get into hypotheticals. I'm really not. There's no updates to his schedule. That's where we are right now. He tested negative last night. He tested negative today. That's what matters. He's not having any symptoms. Just not going to get into hypotheticals. Okay, Karen.
Just a quick follow, and then I want to do another topic if I can.
Yeah, for sure.
So when should we expect the next test update from you? You said the CDC is saying not every day, but he's doing it based on doctors' recommendations. Would he get tested tomorrow and then again on Thursday before leaving?
Look, this is something, this regular cadence is going to be up to his physician, a close consultation with his physician. As I just mentioned, all travelers, including the president, is going to get tested before we go to India. We leave for India on Thursday. Today is Tuesday. I don't have anything else further to share. We just shared with you that he tested clearly last night, and today. That is up to the physician. We are going to continue to follow as well as the president, CDC guidance.